just bust a nut on a bitch chest. Flexing on these niggas like a bench press.
Alright, motherfuckers, this is Master Marks, and I'm coming back with another motherfucking live video. And today's video is simply titled, NXT 2.0 is better than AEW. It's better. It's just simply better. And also, just to let you know, this is the video for the day of Thursday motherfucking day. It's Thursday, a day before payday for all you hardworking motherfuckers out there, all you AEW pack smokers out there. It is motherfucking Thursday. So let's get this video started. Can I have all my motherfucking AEW pack smokers do me a favor? I need you to take your motherfucking AEW pack, get you a motherfucking nice lighter, because of course you would have to use a lighter. Fire that bitch up and hit that bitch and blow that shit the fuck out. So like I was saying, today's video is simply titled NXT 2.0 is better than AEW. Now the reason why I say that is because, well, NXT 2.0 has people like Odyssey Jones, Nikita Lyons. They have Brian Breaker. They have Trick and Carmelo Hayes. They have Walter. They have Walter's group. They have Roderick Strong. Let's see, who else do they have? They have Solo Sikoa, which hopefully I pronounced that right, but which is the Usos' little brother. They have Harlan and Joe Gacy. I mean, they have young, fresh talent. Now, I know some of those guys who are on the roster, like Tommaso Ciampa and Roderick Strong, are older guys, but they make the company a little bit more stable. And also LA Knight, too. He's an older guy as well. And then you got add-ins like Io Shirai, Raquel Rodriguez, or Gonzalez, whatever her name is. It's Raquel Gonzalez. I called her Rodriguez, my bad. You got her. And then you got Toxic fucking Attraction, which Gigi got that motherfucking yomper on her, so we already know that. Like, they have fresh faces. And, I mean, there's a little bit more edge to their wrestling and a little bit more sex appeal to their wrestling. And it makes sports entertainment look cool, which is a lot of the issues that companies like AEW and WWE, their main portions, have. Wrestling just isn't cool anymore. And the reason why I'm saying that NXT 2.0 is better than AEW, because of course AEW is not competing with Monday Night Raw or SmackDown, not by any chance. But when it comes to AEW, being a new company that only has 2 shows and then like a YouTube show or whatever the fuck they got, they don't have a lot of young talent. Like, they just signed Keith Lee, which, once again, I'll say I have no issues with Keith Lee at all. But I do think that Keith Lee looked out of shape and he didn't look prepared to come back to a wrestling ring. That's my personal opinion. People may not like that. I really don't give a fuck. But yeah, of course, I mean, like, they've dug themselves into a hole. They have some young talent at that fucking company in AEW, but they're just not utilizing that young fucking talent. It's like Tony Khan don't like big guys. He don't like strong guys. He barely like fucking black guys. And that's just the facts. I hate to say it to y'all. We all know what happens to Keith Lee. He's on the main roster. He wrestles. And then he gets sent to where they send all the dark people to. AEW Dark. That's just the facts. If I was wrong, then you can really tell me I was wrong. Because it's just not his thing. He don't like big guys. He don't really like black guys, black women, none of that shit. Especially, I mean, look at the whole situation with him and Big Swole, but that's not my business. I really don't give a fuck about that either, because they're both jobbers. That's right. I called Tony Khan a fucking jobber. I called your Christ a jobber. He's a life jobber. So, just so you know. But, I mean, altogether, man, I mean, when you really look at the roster, you know, especially people like Mandy Rose and Nikita Lyons, they are really bringing sex appeal back to wrestling. Now, Nikita Lyons rapping is not my favorite thing to see, but also that girl who was on there that was looking thicker than a motherfucking Snicker, I can't even remember her name. She has some ass too. She looked real good. She can't rap either, but if she was on TV every week, I'd watch it. I'd watch it for sure. For sure. And I know you fucking crackheads in the fucking DMs and in the fucking comment section go talk about how we're not supposed to like sexy women and that's whatever, and we're sex crazed, jacking off fools, whatever. Like I said before, I don't give a fuck what you motherfuckers who talk about that shit say. Like, I honestly don't care. That's my personal opinion. They need to bring back sexy women in wrestling, and that's just the facts. Whatever. But when you really look at it, though, like AEW compared to NXT 2.0, even though NXT 2.0 is not getting the same ratings as AEW, it's more quality wrestling. It's better wrestling. There's better characters on NXT 2.0 versus AEW. It's just true. Like AEW literally is a retirement home for old guys from WWE. And that's the advantage that a lot of, like the NXT has, because they have a bunch of younger guys. Braun Breaker, I don't even think Braun Breaker is fucking 25 years old. I don't even think he's past 23. Braun Breaker is young as fuck, dude. And the guys who they have young in AEW are just fucking jobbers or cruiserweights. And most of those guys, like Carmelo Hayes and fucking Braun Breaker, I mean, even the Usos brother, Odyssey Jones, those guys could go to the main roster. I mean, you could build up Odyssey Jones to be like Mark Henry. You can build up Harlan to whoop Brock Lesnar's ass. Now, I know they might not do that right now. It's a slow build for him, which is okay because he's young. But all in all, like, they have the advantage because they haven't dug themselves into a hole. All NXT wrestling, AEW, I guess you call it, they have dug themselves into a hole. They have signed every old black and gold NXT wrestler besides Johnny Gargano, Tommaso Ciampa, and Roderick Strong. I think those are the only guys that are left. I mean, I'm pretty sure they'll sign Killer Cross, probably some other jobber, whatever. But they're literally signed all of the main attractions that were on the black and gold brand to AEW. And now that they've done that, they have absolutely nothing for them to do because they've surrounded everything around CM Punk or Daniel Bryan. And now coming in Keith Lee, which are all older guys. You have a new company, which is not, I still say it's new because it's fairly new to the wrestling universe. You have a new company and you build it off of old ass fucking talent. Geriatric fucking talent. You go get guys from Japan that's fucking 65 years old and think that they're going to fucking put over ratings or put good ratings up. It's just not going to happen. Like, you have to have new faces, new talent, new people. So when you have a person new tuning in and like whatever, or you have a person that's older tuning in and like, I've never seen this person before. I'm intrigued by this wrestler. Old guys like Dean Ambrose and shit like that and fucking Drink Moxley, those guys, you've already seen those guys. Chris Jericho, you've watched Chris Jericho for 20-something years. And it's like people used to give WWE so much fucking hell over them bringing back old faces or them bringing back Goldberg. And in AEW, that's all they do. They just bring back old characters that was in WWE that got released. And once again, like I said, I have no disrespect for Keith Lee. Like, I don't hate Keith Lee. I just feel like Keith Lee's not in good shape. And I'm not surprised he signed with AEW because in AEW, he really doesn't have to worry about his health. That's just the truth. Like, look at Jericho. Look at how Jericho deteriorated versus being in WWE. Jericho was in excellent shape in WWE. He went to AEW. Now he's a fucking slob. And I like Jericho. I don't have no hate towards Jericho. I think he's past his prime. Let me just take a drink real quick. Hold on. I think he's past his prime, but I still like Jericho. Like, I don't have no hate towards Jericho. I always thought he was a charismatic guy, but I just never thought he was like that big of a deal, you know. But I still like Jericho, and he's not in good shape. You know, John Moxley, when he got there, he was in such bad shape he had to go to fucking rehab. He was smoking so many Marlboro 100s, Marlboro Reds, and drinking so much fucking Hennessy and beer and 1800 and Twisted Tea and all kind of shit. He had to go to fucking rehab. So that just shows you that AEW just doesn't pay attention to the health of their wrestlers. They say they do, and they have this perfectly great health insurance program, but all of their guys there are just not fucking healthy. Like, if you had a health insurance program or you cared about the health of your wrestlers, you would have seen Keith Lee and see how bad he was out of shape and that he's been off for quite some time, and said, okay, before we put you out here on this live TV, let's get you back into ring condition, wrestling condition, and TV condition. That way you're the healthiest you need to be. If we need you to do something further than just be on AEW Dark, we can have you do that. But the reason why I think they probably didn't have Keith Lee do that is because he's going to be on AEW Dark sooner or later. There's no difference between them signing Tony Nese and Keith Lee. And that's why I say they've dug themselves into a hole, and NXT 2.0 is better because they have young talent, young people that you've never seen before, young wrestlers that nobody really knows, that you can become a fan of. Now, it sucks that Velveteen Dream got into that situation, which that's not my business to go into, because he would have did good on NXT 2.0, and he was still fucking young. So we never know what's going to happen with that. You know, he has some crazy accusations against him, and honestly, I don't get into that portion of the wrestling shit because that's not my business. We just talk about how shitty the shit is. But yeah, I mean, NXT 2.0 is altogether better than AEW. Rampage, Dynamite, Dark, all of those shows. Because they have young people who are future stars who could go to the main roster and win championships. And that's what it's about. New stars, not people that you've already seen for 30 fucking years. It's about new stars. And AEW just doesn't have that. Tony Khan is going to continue to sign old fucking wrestlers who are almost 40 who are at the end of their prime. Or fucking guys who nobody even knows who the fuck these guys are. Like that guy who signed and is Malachi Black's homeboy that I still don't even know his fucking name, and I haven't taken the time out to figure out what his name is. This guy is out of shape as fuck. And nobody knows him. They either sign people that people know who are out of their prime, or people that they don't know that people don't even care to fucking know. Just a bunch of indie fucking guys. And that's not good for the brand at the end of the day. Like, I talk a lot of shit about AEW, but in all seriousness, AEW is a fucking joke. Like, it's a joke. Because they're going to be in the ground if they don't figure out how to build stars. Not putting them in the fucking nightmare factory with Cody Rhodes. He can't wrestle. Dustin Rhodes is a fucking enhancement talent. Goldust is an enhancement talent. Goldust is not a superstar. He's an intercontinental mid-carder guy. Like, they need some kind of performance center so they can build stars. Because if they don't, I don't really see no future for him, because guys like MJF are not going to want to be with a company like that forever. He can't grow from that company. Guys like Sammy Guevara, even though he might get his ass whipped by SASHABANKS if he went to WWE, he's not going to want to be with that company forever. Jungle Boy is not going to want to be there forever. Darby Allin might be there forever, because Sting will be there till the day he's dead. But, like, I don't know, man. At the end of the day, NXT 2.0 is better than AEW. They have better stars. They have a future. They have young talent. And they have sex appeal to their show. And AEW has CM Punk and Keith Lee and Daniel Bryan, a bunch of indie guys. or former WWE guys. So, like I said, at the end of the day, NXT 2.0 is better than AEW. I really don't give a fuck because I'm not watching AEW at all. Like, I like NXT 2.0. Shout out to Nikita Lyons. That is Bae, as always. She is Bae. That's wifey. That's Bae. I know it's Black History Month. I don't give a motherfuck. Nikita Lyons is still motherfucking Bae. I can't wait for that Brian Penny's match with her and Mandy Rose. But like I said, NXT 2.0 is better than AEW. AEW needs to figure it out. This has been Masked Up Marks. Make sure you leave a like, share, subscribe, comment. Fucking hit the post notifications so you know every time we drop a motherfucking video. I am out this bitch.